Since Sha Diddy Combs was caught on September 16th, 2024, shocking new information has come to light. Some say he was taken because he spoke out against powerful people in America. On October 10th, 2012, another shocking news story happened in court. What caused Combs to fall? What else did? New information about Diddy's case has been revealed. Is there something going on that no one is aware of? What does this mean for the future of one of the most famous people in show business? Don't miss this. Did his heirs think there may have been foul play in his case? They say this case is unique because some people are accusing him because of his fame and wealth. Why is this idea being put forward when every week more and more people say they were hurt? Diddy made the accusations against Combs without giving their names. Combs, who is in a lot of trouble, has since asked for bail but has been turned down because of what happened. He asked his lawyer who the people were who were accusing him were in a letter to the judge, and they said that their client would need that information for his future trial, which has now been set for May 5th, 2025. It's strange that the prosecutor won't give out the names of the people who are accusing Diddy of crimes. Why does this keep happening? The American rapper 50 Cent has said that Diddy is connected to criminals in the United States. Other famous people, like Eminem, have also said that Diddy was involved with the deaths of rappers Pac and Biggie. The court is mostly worried about two things. Despite Diddy's lawyers' attempts to get him released on a $50 million bond and strict conditions like house arrest and being watched 24 hours a day, the judges decided to keep him in jail. This was because the judges knew how dangerous Diddy would be if he found out the names of the people who were accusing him and the chance that he would mess with witnesses. He is thought to have killed several people, including Camille Cassie Ventura. Cassie is a blast from the past, who doesn't really say much about the man behind the camera. His fight with her happened in the dark hallway of the now-closed Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles on March 5, 2016. Sha Diddy Combs was caught on camera badly beating up Cassie Ventura. The incident would be talked about in the news for years to come. Mark Aguilar, Diddy's lawyer, said that his client was a man who had been pushed to his limits. Aguilar said that Diddy, who has 4 children, was upset because of Cassie Ventura, who was his girlfriend at the time. She allegedly got angry and threw Diddy's phone at him, took his clothes, and left the hotel room while he was sleeping. It's not a surprise that the prosecutor's story is very different from what he said. Combs went to court on November 16, 2023. Because Cassie had filed civil charges against him. In the suit, Cassie said that she was abused by Combs while they were together. They said there was a man in the room and accused Combs of. As we'll see later in the video, Cassie was desperately trying to get away from another one of Diddy's famous parties. In this version of events, Diddy wasn't seen as someone who was angry. Instead, he was seen as someone whose actions made Cassie run away in fear. That wasn't even the worst part. He tried to hide what he did by paying the hotel $50,000 to get rid of the security video that showed him throwing glass vases at Cassie when you're not looking. Trying to show a judge that you won't change evidence or witnesses doesn't look good. At first, Diddy did nothing wrong by insisting that he was innocent despite these serious charges. But when the hotel security video came out, it changed everything and showed what really happened that night. When Diddy saw this proof that couldn't be argued with, he changed his mind. In an Instagram video that has since been deleted, he apologized to everyone for his bad behavior, said what he did was wrong, and took full responsibility for it. He also talked about how disgusted he was with himself and what he was doing to get help. "I really hit rock bottom," he said at the time. Did he mean it when he said that? He has since gone to get help and is now starting rehab. Sources say Diddy only knows one victim, Cassie. The others have been kept secret for safety reasons. If the names of these accusers are not made public, it is not clear which charge is keeping him in jail. Should Diddy be freed on bail? Many of his accusers say that he has used his fame and money to get his staff to help him make a world where women are victims of crime. His power to set up many so-called freak shows has led to abuse. Many victims have been forced to be arranged, manipulated, and electronically recorded against their will. The case now relies on 120 accusers. But is there something deeper about Diddy that could shock Americans? In a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Sha Diddy's legal problems were the hot topic. Talk between host Joe Rogan and comedian Andrew Schulz. The conversation was both thought-provoking and insightful, shedding light on the federal raids on Diddy's homes and the bigger effects on the entertainment industry. As it went on, it was like the masks were taken off at a fancy masquerade ball, revealing the scary people hiding behind the fancy costumes, as Schultz put it. There were rumors that Diddy was in a business deal with a big company that wanted to back out. It was also said that the contract he signed with the company had a morality clause, which meant that the company would break the deal with Diddy if he did something wrong. Can you see where this is going? Could Diddy's arrest have had something to do with that contract? If Diddy had broken his contract with the company that set him up, would he have been left alone? It's interesting how things are going, and Cat Williams said on Shannon Sharpe's podcast that Diddy was involved in some things and would be taken down. Is there something more mysterious going on below the surface that no one knows about? It was Rogan and Schultz who brought up the shady claims. In the past, American celebrities have talked about Jeffrey Epstein, who also wanted a big bail package. But the judge turned it down because they were afraid Epstein would use his money to either run away or tamper with witnesses. This has happened before, and the courts didn't want to take any chances with Diddy. On Joe Rogan's show, it was revealed that the real charges against Diddy were more serious. Epstein-style allegations that Diddy filmed people at his parties without their permission. Critics say that Diddy wasn't arrested for the other things he was charged with, but for the videos of famous people he was with, including Prince Harry, Barack and Michelle Obama, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and others. These famous people were linked to Diddy during the raid on his home, Schultz said. They did it because Homeland Security wanted to get the tapes he had on important people. These tapes have since been deleted, so could this be true? The raid they were talking about happened on March 25, 2024, and the entertainment world was shocked when word got out that Homeland Security had also raided the homes of Combs at the same time. The first target was Diddy's home in Miami, which is on the private island of Star Island early in the morning, with federal and local police entering and leaving with bags and boxes of evidence, including guns and electronics. Diddy's lawyer, Aaron Dyer, strongly opposed the raids, calling them an unprecedented ambush in a witch hunt. Dyer stressed that Diddy had been cooperating with authorities and that he had not been found guilty of any criminal or civil wrongdoing. Dyer also spoke out against the excessive use of force during the They talked about how someone with so much power and influence could be involved in such a scandal. They then moved on to a broader criticism of Hollywood, where glitz and glamour often hide the darkness beneath. They talked about how money and fame can hide even the worst behavior from the public eye. Rogan and Schultz came to the conclusion that maybe Diddy won't go to jail after all, but would instead get treatment where he would be hidden on an island away from the public eye. Could they be right? Diddy, a 54-year-old father of 7, has had a life full of amazing successes and deep challenges. Despite the problems that have followed him, he has always seemed like a family man. He has kids from 4 different women, so his family relationships are undeniably complicated. But with love and support, he has built a close-knit family. His mother, Janice Combs, has been a strong emotional and physical support for him. Janice's leadership has helped to anchor the family. It looks like Diddy has never wavered in his dedication to his family, even when things go wrong. The fact that he can keep these close relationships with his kids shows how dedicated he is as a father and how deeply rooted the bonds are that hold his family together. How is that same family man now the man who was visibly emotional during the hearing? His arrest at a Manhattan hotel on September 16, 2024, was a big blow, and he broke down in court when he heard the judge's decision. Diddy hasn't had a moment of peace since. The arrest came after a long investigation that painted a bleak picture of a man who was allegedly using his huge business empire, which included the famous Bad Boy Entertainment, as a front for his illegal activities. The indictment reads like a scary story of exploitation and manipulation, and he is accused of using his huge fame to commit and hide his crimes. The prosecution's case is based on strong evidence, with each piece adding to the picture of alleged criminality. Victims and witnesses' horrifying accounts are at the heart of their case, painting a vivid picture of abuse, control, and exploitation. Their stories are not only personal tragedies, but also important parts of a pattern of behavior that goes back years. The financial records and communication logs are a big part of the prosecution's case. These carefully gathered papers are said to show a web of transactions and messages that point to a complex operation. The prosecution says that these records show how he used his business resources to support and hide his illegal activities. He pretended to be legitimate while doing bad things. Items found on Diddy's property, like illegal and possibly gang-related items, are also very important evidence. These real clothes help prove what the victim says. They are shown in court as proof of the place where the crimes are said to have happened. Photos and videos from surveillance give a clear picture of the world Diddy is accused of making. They are used to support the claims of abuse and trafficking by showing proof of what the victims say happened most. People who used to work for or with Diddy and gave the government damaging information by talking about the alleged criminal enterprise helped show how Diddy allegedly planned and ran a network to help him do illegal things while keeping up an appearance of respectability. Diddy's defense team is still standing firm, saying that the case against him is based on. There is only weak evidence linking Diddy to the crimes, and no solid proof of his involvement. The prosecution's story is based on guesswork, and the evidence does not clearly connect Diddy to the crimes. His lawyer Shapiro and his legal team offered a huge bail package that included a $50 million bond, his and his mother's homes in Florida as collateral. This would show that he was ready to pay a lot of money to make sure he followed the court's rules. He would also be under house arrest at Diddy's $48 million Florida estate, with strict rules on who could visit. This would keep him away from possible influences and create a controlled environment to lower any further risks. The bail terms called for 247 monitoring, trained third-party former state and federal police officers would watch him around the clock to make sure that Diddy's activities and movements were always being watched to stop any chance of witness tampering. Diddy also couldn't use the internet or phones, which was done to stop any communication that could be used to change the case. Finally, Diddy and his family had to give up their passports so that there was no way for anyone to leave the country. The court wanted to keep Sean Diddy in the area so he could be present for all court proceedings. To add to the drama of an already crazy case, his bail conditions were very strict, which showed how serious the charges against him are. His lawyers came up with the idea. The court set these strict conditions to show how serious the accusations are and to ease their concerns. However, they turned down Diddy's bail request because they thought they might not be enough to protect the community and keep him from getting in the way of the justice system. In addition to his current charges, they had to look at his past accusations. This is not the first time the music superstar has been accused. Since he began his career, his life has been full of scandals since the 1990s. One incident that stands out is the alleged attack on record executive Steve Stout in 1999. Reports say that Diddy and his group stormed Stout's office because Stout refused to take down a scene from a music video that Diddy found offensive. Stout later sued Diddy, and the case was settled privately, with Diddy reportedly paying Stout a lot of money to end the matter. That same year, Diddy was involved in another major scandal at Club New York. He and his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were there when 3 people were shot, and Diddy was charged with having weapons and bribery, but was found not guilty in 2001. While he was in court, his protégé took the blame for most of his recent legal problems, which didn't look good on his record. When he found out he wouldn't be going home but would be spending a few more months in jail instead, he looked like he had just saw someone speeding into a wall. He looked shook, like the mental stress he had been under for weeks had all of a sudden come crashing down on him. A man who has spent most of his adult life living a life of luxury and control is now being reduced to someone who can barely hold his life together. He went from being tall and calm to shaking so badly that he fell down in court. The police were called, and it was clear that his new life was hitting him harder than he had thought. He would have to deal with the harsh reality of sharing a cold, crowded jail cell with someone he had never met. This seems to be the start of Diddy's fall, because it's one thing to have a scandal hurt your reputation and quite another to see your whole dynasty fall apart. Diddy has always been proud of being untouchable in the entertainment business, so his fall is a silent warning to others. Now that powerful moguls like him know that fame or money can't hide crimes, the trial is set for May 2025. It will be an exciting show for both the legal drama and what it means for the entertainment industry as a whole. This case has shown the bad sides of fame. In the end, Sha Diddy Combs' trial is more than just a court case. It shows how hard it is for society to face and fix the systemic problems that allow power abuses to happen. The outcome will have effects far beyond the courtroom and could change the rules of influence and justice in the celebrity world and throughout society.